I'm a very color-oriented person, and when I had the opportunity to work on the trolley, that was the very first thing that came to my mind, is it, it should be exciting. As far as using the trolley as a canvas, I don't think there's really been enough of that done. I thought it was a great, idea to do that. Port Authority allowed us to do that.
Diana Riddle's contribution to Peter Muller Monk Associates it can be seen across the board. So for her to be the one to have created this one really distinctive trolley, it really had to have come from her.
Diana's designs for the trolleys are absolutely incredible, bringing color, design, radiance to the streets of Pittsburgh.
Well, at that time, and we're talking early in 1972, there were all kinds of things that were very difficult for the Port Authority at that time. They had a deteriorating fleet of trolley cars, and they were doing their best to keep them together. There was nothing yet on the horizon to replace them. They needed something of a positive nature to really impact the public and improve their image.
Something that would entice people to get on the trolley and ride it, something that children could relate to especially. And so that was sort of the basis for a lot of my thinking at that point.
So we developed a way to fold up these trolleys, make them three-dimensional. We would decide to paint the trolleys a bright color, a red, a yellow, and an orange, but insert a white vertical band around the waist of the trolley. We asked Diana Riddle, can you come up with something that's a little more psychedelic?
I was the only graphics designer at Peter Muller Monk. Everybody else was an industrial designer. And industrial designers think very differently to graphic designers. Somebody asked me, what actually is design? I said, it's an intellectual process. You start from, point A and you go through point A to point B and I mean, first of all, you've got to develop the concept in your mind. Then you've got to, apply that. Maybe it might just be a sketch and you might just sort of, indicate some color, and then, once you've gotten that to a certain level, then you take it to a more finished point until you have something that you're comfortable with, and you might change color several times before you, settle on what you really like. And that was really how I created the sunburst, because it would sort of work with the windows and would wrap around and, work functionally with the trolleys.
We used carousel slide projectors, 2 screens going on at the same time. You could actually see on the left screen, for example, here's the existing PC car. It looks actually kind of shabby. Here's a proposed paint scheme to replace it. All right. Here on the left screen, here's an interior. Here's a sketch of what we proposed the interiors could be upgraded to. And so, but then we also had some dynamic action where the trolleys would move across the screen. Last came the, quote, mod trolley. To our surprise, at the end of it, Bill Henry stood up, slammed down his hand and said, we'll buy it, but we've got to have that mod trolley as well.
In fact, we were all pretty amazed that they even accepted it, because that was sort of pretty way out of the mainstream at that time.
It was like a revelation. It's like a rainbow came out. It's like the sun came out on Pittsburgh.
When these trolleys were unveiled, led by the mod trolley, I mean, it was just sensational. There were newspaper articles locally. The Pittsburgh Press at that time did a feature article. Fantastic, okay? Great publicity.
The brilliant thing is, anytime you do something different, that is thinking outside of the box, taking something to a place that it's never been, not only is it revolutionary when it happens, but more importantly, it creates a precedent. I think the redesign of the trolleys, especially Diana's designs in the early 70s, signaled that Pittsburgh was open to new ideas. It was innovative. It always had been innovative and continued to be. The designs on our buses today, incorporating international language, text, ideas from around the world, and Pittsburgh put out through its design, through its public transport, the idea that the world is important, international ideas, globalization are important, and that means a lot. Saying again, we're progressive, we think about the world and our place in it.